chat a little bit about the trauma of technology and how that affects us in ways that we can mitigate it. So as neurologically focused chiropractors, what we do is we give the body the time, space, permission, and information that it needs to know that it can let go of the things it doesn't need to hold on to anymore. So it reinitiates its own process of detensioning and reorganizing itself because it gets the experience of, oh, I don't need to hold on to this stress from some trauma in the past anymore, and there's no longer a threat, so I can let it go. But when you leave the office, we want to mitigate the amount of traumas and stressors and overwhelm that the body experiences. And so typically we talk about the 3 T's that lead to subluxation, which is the interference in the communication between the brain and the rest of the body. It's that overwhelm I was talking about. And the 3 T's are thoughts, traumas, and toxins. So thoughts are, emotional stresses, and that's the most frequent and the most common. And then traumas we typically think of as physical traumas, and toxins, chemical toxicity. Well, this new category of technological trauma is EMF, flicker rates, blue lights, and things like that. And so ways that we can mitigate it are with the blue light and the flicker rate. Whenever we're engaging a screen, particularly if it's 2 hours before bed, so that's after the sun's gone down in general, we want to minimize the amount of blue light that we get into our eyes. That blue light frequency, evolutionarily, we only would experience when it was noon outside. So it's telling our circadian rhythm that it's high noon, and it throws our sleep off. And there's also neurological consequences with prolonged excessive blue light in general, as well as the flicker rate that's on the screens. And so we can minimize the frequency bandwidth that's neurologically toxic and traumatic to our system by wearing blue blocker glasses. Now, the realm of blue blocker glasses is a little muddied out there, right? So there's a lot of relatively expensive blue blockers that are clear glasses that look nice, and they block a particular frequency range of blue light. The only way that you know that your blue blocker glasses are blocking all of the blue light is if when you're wearing them, you cannot see blue light. And so if you look at a light that is blue, like your screen, if there's anything blue on the screen that you're looking at, then your blue blocker glasses are not actually blocking all the blue light. And in fact, the cheapest glasses on the market are often the better ones. It's the orange ones. So if you go on to Amazon and you just type in blue blocker glasses, just look for the ones that are orange. They're probably like $15. And I like the ones that cover the entire eye. They're actually made to fit over glasses. So even if you don't wear glasses normally, I recommend the big ones because they wrap around, they cover the side, they cover the top, they cover the bottom, and it's gonna block all of the blue light. And every single night, it is a habit, I put on the blue blocker glasses as soon as the sun goes down. I wear them around the house, any screens, if there's anything on TV that we're watching, if there's anything I'm doing on my phone or my computer, I've got the blue blockers on. So that's going to be your best way to prevent the blue light from getting in, and I highly recommend that. As far as EMF goes, there's a variety of EMF shielding, and we'll have a whole nother video specifically dedicated to how to mitigate the exposure of both EMF and dirty electricity. Flicker rate is kind of hard to get away from when it comes to screens, right? We can't necessarily block that, but we can get away from the flicker rate of LED lights. So we can replace our lighting with incandescent bulbs. A few years back, they had made it to where they can't produce incandescent bulbs in America anymore, but that changed with the MAHA movement with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which is awesome. So you can go onto Amazon and you can buy incandescent light bulbs for your house. These are not going to have a flicker rate. These LED bulbs and these halogen bulbs are going to flicker, and that is going to negatively stimulate the nervous system and put your system into fight or flight. And so we want to mitigate that by just replacing the bulbs with the traditional old school incandescent bulbs. So it is a little bit more in electricity, but it is way worth it for your nervous system. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to call or reach out to us at 248-616-0900. You can text that number, you can call that number if you have any questions. And if you're not already seeing us at Van Every Family Chiropractic Center, we highly recommend coming in. We've got a really special team there. The 3 docs there are highly skilled, neurologically focused chiropractors, and we all have a unique background and come at it a slightly different angle, but we're doing the same thing. We're asking the body where it's holding on to stress in the system that it's ready to let go of. And we're giving gentle inputs to give the body that permission, that space, that time, and that information to let go of what it doesn't need to hold on to anymore. Have a good day, guys.